Hello YouTubers, here we are at Charles Schultz Airport here in Santa Rosa, California, and we will be taking a flight down to Lindbergh in San Diego. Let's just close up the door here and get the engine started, as I have the battery on and I do not want it to die out on me. Let me get rid of the yoke here, and let me bring these prop levers up and this right lever just a little bit up so that I can start the right engine and we can get some power on the aircraft, as this aircraft does not have any type of GPU, ground power unit, or APU, alternate power unit. So as those are spinning up, as the number 2 is coming up, let's get some lights on the bird here so that you can see what's going on and I can see what's going on. There we are. Just getting some lights on here. That sub panel up. Engine sounds like it's stabilizing. So let's get the right generator on. There we go. And we can turn the ignition off so that, and there we have a good load. It's unfortunate in this aircraft that you have to keep the engine running in order to get it going, but we do what we got to do. So let's take a quick look here. There's not much online for air traffic control in the Oakland Center area, which is where we are located here at the Sonoma County Charles Schultz Airport. The weather right now, it's not too bad. We got 9 Celsius and altimeter is 3010. Winds are out of 1503 knots, so we are going to be doing a runway 14 departure today. So let's set our barometric pressure to 3010, and I'm also going to set my reference speeds now that I'm thinking about it. V1 is 112. I'm sorry, V1 is not 112, V1 is 102. Our rotate speed is 107. And there we are. And our climb out is 112, which is where I got the 112 from. Alright, so that is all set up. Now we can make sure our pointer, or our bearing indicator, is set for the FMS, which is what we want. Alright, so that's off. That's all set for FMS now. Now let's just hover over this to make sure this says FMS, so we know the FMS covers that. Today we're flying at flight level 210 for final cruise, so let's get that set up. And now let us set our, I'm going to do one thing here. I'm going to turn the landing gear horn off so that it doesn't scream at me if I don't have the landing gear up when it likes it. I'm just doing a flow here. I'm also going to pull this manual oxygen dump, which is part of your checklist if you're doing it the actual correct way. Now normally I'll come down here and do my FMS stuff from right here, but instead on this one I'll do it. Then we'll get our beacon lights on, and then we'll get out of here. There we are. Let's get this going here. Alright. So, let's do our initial. There we go. Now we've got our initialization of our location set there. And of course we are going to San Diego, which is KSAN. So we'll just plug that right in there. And now we can get going. Our first significant point is Papa Yankee Echo. So we'll plug that in, and then we're going to be taking Juliet 88 Airway to LAX, and then the rest is going to be part of the departure and arrival. So the departure, and that's not what I wanted to select. Let's do departure again, and we want to select the FREES9 with the Papa Yankee Echo transition. We're going to be leaving runway 14. Let's execute that. Then we're going to go right back in over here, and we are going to select the Bayview 5 for our arrival. LAX is the transition, and we are going to do the RNAV 27 Zulu, which I'm going to have to, and we'll do Cloman. I'm going to have to make some adjustments here in a second. So let's check the flight plan out. SNS goalie, see freeze, Papa Yankee Echo, then SNS goalie Robbie Sino Romeo Zulu Sierra. That's all part of the airway until we get down to LAX, and then we start our arrival. Now the one thing that's funny about when you do set up the RNAV in this plane is that it automatically, for whatever reason, dumps the arrival. So I'm just going to really quick manually input the arrival here and put the points in so that on the way there, once I pick up the arrival, I can just simply follow the excuse me, I got a little thrown off there. I can just simply follow the arrival pattern, which is reflected on the chart, and also follow the vertical points, so that my VNAV, which on this plane is really touchy, all the way down Hubbard, and I'm just taking these right off of the chart here, and then I'll use the chart as well to put in my altitudes. So the next one is Bayview. I'm trying to hurry up so this video isn't too long. And we're going to do Bayview there. Then after Bayview is El Cove. Now I always fly with some extra fuel in this aircraft, just simply because you're going to be idling due to lack of having a alternate power unit, or which would take fuel, or the ground power unit, or GPU, which is truly something that you would want. And so it's just what we got to do to make it happen, since the GPU is not simulated on this aircraft. Alright, we should be fine there. Now I'm just going to be going back here and step clone, so step clone So this one also happens to be at 6,000. This one here happens to be 7,000. I'm just setting up the altitudes now for the VNAV, so I don't have to do it later. L Cove, we're supposed to be at 9 with that one. Bayview, we're going to set that at 15,000. And we will go for 16.5 for Hubbard, and for Otis we're gonna make that 17,000. Not 170,000. And for LAX, we'll make that 19,000. And then everything else after this one here, we're gonna do at our cruising altitude. I'm not going to be using vertical navigation for our climb. However, I just want these points to be there so that when I decide to activate it, I don't have to keep telling the aircraft that we're not supposed to be up at 28,000 feet. And so that it knows when to start. Okay, so that's set up. So that's good. Now, let's tune our trusty little radio here to, I'm just loving putting the extra 0 in tonight. And then we're gonna set our next preset to Los Angeles Center since they are online when we switch. And we don't have any ATC now, but we're flying IFR, so I'm going to switch this to 2200 so they know we're flying IFR. Alright, so all of our planning looks done, looks good. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to, if you watch my other videos, you know this, I'm just decluttering the MFDs and the primary flight display up front so they don't have a bunch of clutter. Let me just go through this here, boom boom. Alright, and then the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to keep this up because I'm going to be going, I'm going to probably hand fly it, get us to go to Freeborn, or Freeze rather. And let me just check something out here. I don't know why. Let me check my legs real quick. There's Freeze and then there's Papa Yankee Echo. However, in the direct to, which it should be here. I don't know why it's not in there. But it's funny because it's here. So we'll get in the air, we'll get it figured out. We will get it all figured out. Even if we've got to put it in while we're in the air. Alright, so we're done with that. Let's turn these off here. Now we are getting ready to taxi here, so I'll turn the beacon on. Nav lights are on. Gears down. Let's go ahead and let the passengers know we're getting ready to go. So I'm going to turn on the fasten seat belt and no smoking. While we're doing this, let's go ahead and fire up our second engine. Get that going. And our second engine being our first engine. And while that's happening, let's make our heading here to the 164 that we need. And actually, I take that back. I've flown this before and thought I had it memorized, but it's not a heading of 164 leaving runway 14. Normally the winds are from the north. However, the winds are not from the north today. They're coming from the south, which is the reason we're flying runway 14. So let me just read what heading that we need to go. So we're climbing right, turning heading 250. So I'm glad I caught myself on that. So we're basically going to turn west. Alright, so mouse is kind of sticking here. Alright, so there's 250. So on the departure, we climb right turn heading to 250. Then we intercept and climb on the 202 radio to cross FREES intersection. Alright. Then on to the transition to Papa Yankee Echo. So that's what we're going to do. Now let's just go down here quick and let me reduce the... So here's what we got going on here. You can take a look. We're departing on 14, so basically we're going to turn the aircraft around. We're going to take a right turn, hit this, go to the FREES intersection, and then after FREES we go directly to Papa Yankee Echo, which is not showing it here right now, but once we get there we will. So we're going to try to fly. I'm not going to be using any flaps for takeoff. I just want to see how that works out. Actually, no, I'm going to use flaps. Alright, so let me just turn my rudder boost on here. That way I don't have to come down and look at that again. We've already armed the manual oxygen dump. Let me just give me a little right rudder adjust there, because this plane turns left. If you guys remember in my last videos, if you've watched it, even though it's technically not what you would do, I pull my condition levers back, which is going to also give me an indicator or a warning on my annunciator panel that the reversers are not armed, which you can see right there, which I'm cool with, just because simply because, let's turn my ESIS on, which is my secondary horizon here. We see that's coming up 116 seconds. Anyway, because this plane will taxi erratically if I don't do that. Alright, so let's go ahead and go squawk mode Charlie. We're squawking Charlie. Let's get our taxi lights on. And let's check our annunciator panel. The rest, Lear and all that, we'll get to and put the conditioners and the props all over to 100% for departure. Let me get my heading going here. So I got my heading switch on, and we will make sure we got a nice 1,400 feet up. Master caution is off. Let me turn my ignition switch off there. We want to turn the engine anti-ice on, which is part of your checklist. If you're actually doing the checklist, the auto feather will get to the bleed air and the pitot here in just a second. Gear is down. VREFs are set. So basically, we are going to taxi here, come over here. Now, in the actual charts, it'll be Zulu to Alpha to the end, 1-4. However, in this update of this airport, that's not the case. So let me just give you a quick peek so we can get it going. So if we come down here, if my mouse would show up, there we go. So if we come here to the airport diagram, okay, we are here. So I can either come up, make the first left and come all the way up, or come up, to this little taxiway here to Juliet and take a right. I think I'll come up to the first left and pick up Alpha, which on my simulator, the airport update says that I think it's Yankee or Quebec or something crazy like that. And then we'll just come all the way up here to Alpha 1 and get going for our departure. So, yeah. So that's what we're doing. Alright, no further ado, let's start our taxi. Alright. Power a little bit there. Got to be ever so gently. Ever so gentle. Taxiing this, but it's so much more controllable doing it the way that I'm doing with the props down and the conditioners in idle. And anyone watching this video, make a comment or post a comment, your techniques in getting this Beechcraft King Air 350 India to taxi softly, if you will. So we're just gonna hook a little right. That's the runway over there that we see. And we're just going to come all the way to the end. So now in this, it says it's Alpha. Well, Yankee that we're on, but it's really Alpha. So the signage is a tad bit off. According to the chart, as you saw, this is in fact Alpha that we're on. And the end of this taxiway is technically... let's go this way here, last minute change. It's technically Alpha 1. Drunk driving here. So we'll come here and hold short right here, but as everybody can see, this thing is very nice when you have those. It's really not a bad taxi. All right, let's get our final stuff going here. So what we've got here, first of all, let's bring our levers all up to the 100% area. Let's turn our bleed air on. And as you can see, we're starting to extinguish some lights on the annunciator, and we got our heat on, so let's take a peek at the annunciator. It looks good. We have everything there that we need. We are getting ready to go on to the runway, so that is absolutely a call for strobes. For our recognition light, let's turn our taxi lights off and let's get our landing lights on. And I believe we are ready to go. Let's just do one last check. Alright, you can clearly see our recognition lights are on, our taxi lights are on. So we will take off and immediately bank right. Last thing we need to check is that our flaps are set, which they are. And here in a second, as soon as I start my roll onto the runway, I am going to start the clock as well. Let's check the engine. We're good. So once we get off and get our climb speed and get about 1,000 feet in the air, we'll set cruise climb power. So let's start the time. There we go. Alright. Let me just back off a little bit. It'll adjust once we get full power. I just checked on my tablet any traffic. I didn't make any announcements on VATSIM, as there's no traffic around. There's no traffic departing from this airport that I see. Alright. Nice little left turn here. Line up center line, hopefully, and fly our departure. Alright, here we go. We have speed alive, 80 knots, and coming up on our rotate here. Positive climb, gear up, flaps up. And like I said, I'm just going to hand fly it. I'm going to kind of straighten it out here. Alright, let's do our right turn. Right turn here, intercept freeze. Let's go. Got 14 coming up. We're turning right to 250. And we're going to go direct freeze now. Got a good climb. I'm going to reduce our condition levers back to the 90%. There we go. For our climb. And we are direct freeze at this point, so we are going to bank right just a little bit. After takeoff, gear is up, lights are still on until we pass 10,000, strobe is on, flaps are in the up position, FMS is armed, and we are climbing, getting ready to do a left turn to Papa Yankee Echo, which shows up here, as you can see. So not bad. Now we're doing a left turn to Papa Yankee Echo. That'll be heading 157. I still have to get a little better with controlling this aircraft on the rotate coming off, and because it just wants to lift up once you get to your rotate speed. But other than that, I'm satisfied with it. I'm going to keep my climb at 1,400 feet per minute because I like the speed that I'm staying with. Now we can come here quick as we monitor our climb and just look at our plan. Alright, so we want to come down the plan. We do so by rotating this, then hitting enter in the middle. So now, because we're heading south, this just gives the plan, I guess it's, north-south, and we're heading south. Here we are. So we're coming down here to Papa Yankee Echo. Then if we bring our legs page up and just hit next, let's do the menu advance, the MFD. So then if you hit the next waypoint here, that's how you make the plan move. So our next waypoint is Sierra November Sierra, then Goli. Then if you hit next again, so on and so forth. That's showing our arrival. And then we come in and bada bing, bada boom. So back there, in case you guys didn't know how to use the plan mode, that's how you do it. So you can look at your entire flight plan. Then when you want to take it back to the normal rows or arc, you can just simply use this, enter, and you're back in the normal phase. So we're at 8,100, speed looks good. It's going to continue a nice slow climb, so we keep our speed. I'm going to bring the nose down just a hair, passing 10,000 for light and lights off, of course. So we got about 1,200 to go until lights off and nose down a little bit. Let's take a look and see where we're at in the air. There we are, right here, November 350 Kilo Tango, and it looks like Oakland Center's online at 199.998. So I'm actually going to put that in my nav too. And that frequency sounds kind of funny. I don't even know if that's a real... Yeah, I gotta figure out what frequency he's really on. Okay, so we're at 10,000, so let me bring the nose down before I start messing with that. Okay, so we're at 10,000, so let me bring the nose down before I start messing with that. me also turn the lights off. Recognition lights off. Nav lights are on, beacon and strobe, so we're okay there. Speed is good, our climb is good. We're at about 1,000. We're gonna go nice and slow. We're at Papa Yankee Echo, so next is Sierra November Sierra. And it looks like no one is online, so that's strange. Must be here they're saying they're online, but on the interface vPilot they're not online. So I don't know what that's all about. Let me just check with LA Centers. Yeah, 1258. I don't know what's going on up here though. With the 19 or 9 or 9 or 9 or 8. And then my interface is not telling me any of them are. So it's probably some server issues there. Either way, till we're contacted, we'll just leave it alone. Let's see here. Let's try that. Invalid. Well, let's just try something here. Let me see if we'll be able to hear. And that's not coming in. 1258. So let's try 1242. Just doing some tests here. 124.2. And that's Seattle. It says he's in range, so let's switch to our COM 2. So we're on our COM 2 now. There goes Oakland Center. So apparently it is working. So Oakland Center 1322. Alright. So 208 still climbing good. So now let's go 132.
After 35 descent via the center to arrival, Portland landing west.
There we go. And let's see if he's up.
Lieutenant Redwood 909 descending via the Diamond 325 level at 260, and we are 21 miles east of Modesto. Redwood 909 Oakland Center, thanks for contact. Send via the Diamond 3 arrival, the San Francisco altimeter 3011. 3011, sit by Diamond 309.
Oakland Center, November 350 Kilo Tango with you at 14,400, climbing for flight level 210.
November 350 Kilo Tango, Oakland Center, squawk 3366.
3366 in the box for November Kilo Tango. Alright, there we go. 3366 in the box.
LA ground, this is plane on the ground here. Calling Oakland Center, go ahead. Do you control LA? Negative. Can you give us the phone number for LA, please? I don't have the phone number. Thank you.
Alright. So we got it in the box, 3366. Let's see if he gives us a radar contact. Hopefully he will. In the meantime, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. So,
King 0 Kilo Tango, radar contact 5 miles southwest of the Sausalito VOR. Trying to maintain flight level 210, the San Francisco altimeter 3011.
Up to flight level 210, San Francisco altimeter 3011 for November Kilo Tango. Alright, so he recognized us, and let's get on his program for his altimeter. There we go, but we have 2,000 until we hit standards. No
Oakland Center, Southwest 344, descending out of 14,200, across Pinnon at 12,000.
So our props look good. I'm going to bring them
Southwest
back.
344, Oakland Center, ident.
I'm going to bring them back now
Ident for Southwest 340.
for the propeller control.
Oakland Center,
Back
United
about
1073, push back
75.
from the Echo Gates at San Francisco, heading out to Santa Rosa, ready for taxi.
There we go. I really wish
United 1073, Oakland Center, runway 1 left, taxi by Alpha,
brought our props
Mike
down
1,
a little bit.
advise
That's good.
information Papa.
Still got a good climb.
We'll take a Papa, runway 1 left to be Alpha, Mike 1, United 1073.
Maybe I'll
Southwest
bring
344, radar
props
contact
back
3 miles
to
south,
50%.
east of the London VOR. Send via the Sutter 2 arrival, runway 16 transition, the Sacramento altimeter 3012.
Okay, well, let's continue descending down the Soda 2. You got the number 3011. Did you get us a runway yet?
Southwest 344, jump the 16 transition. Expect a visual approach runway 16 right.
Okay, 16 right for Southwest 344.
Alright, and I'm going to just go nose down just slightly because we're getting higher.
729 heavy, checking in with you at 340.
There we are, and continue a
Level
nice slow
5729,
climb.
heavy Oakland Center ident.
Oakland Center, good evening. American 1138 to 3.8 for 290 and we're 10 north of Salinas.
Oakland Center, Southwest 344, let's have arrival transition for 16 right. We said it was Tudor.
Southwest 344. Just verify you are on the Udder 2 arrival, or are you on the reps? Because it appears you're on the reps 6 arrival.
Southern 2.
Southwest 344. Roger, it'll be the 16 transition. I believe that ends up the Olney 6.
Alright, stand by. You just got to reprogram some things here.
Alright, went to standard.
American
Altimeter
1143, Oakland Center, squawk
180,000, flight level
3257.
180, so we've got another 2,400 to climb for our final. So let's just sit back and enjoy the night scene.
Delta 5729, radar contact 20 miles northwest of the Squaw Valley. The aware maintain flight level 340.
Maintain 340, 729 heavy.
American 1143, radar contact 10 miles northeast of the Salinas VOR, maintain flight level 0.
290 for American 1143.
Okay, Southwest 344, we'll just copy that 16 transition to Nugget. Oakland Center, site 609 in San Francisco with information. Papa, requesting upper clearance to Seattle.
Riptide 609 Oakland Center, connection request. United 1073, short of 1 left with Papa. Yeah, 1073, Roger. Clear the Santa Barbara Airport, offshore 1 departure, Javio to transition direct. Climb via the SID, except maintain 10,000. Expect flight level 270, 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 3271. Squawk 3271, United 1073.
Alright, so we're almost to
Yeah, the
our
1073, you're on
top
my
of
1
climb. I am going to stop this
Takeoff 1 left,
part 1 of the
1073.
video, and I will
Redwood 909, you should pick up Papa.
get the other video going once we are
Redwood 909,
on our
Papa.
arrival into the Lynchburg
Redwood
area.
909.
So we'll see you soon.
Thanks. At Archie, join the Quiet Bridge visual routing. Expect a Quiet Bridge